Trent, how awesome is it to have Daniel Tupou back after such a long layoff?
Yeah, it's always great to have Tupou back. There's a lot of knowledge out there on that left wing about his role and how he plays and the importance in our style of play as well, so it's great to have him back.
There were a few reports floating around that young Sandon Smith might be coming into the halves and Joey back to the centres. Is there any chance of that?
Well, when do I have to?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, don't I? Not today. Not today. So no, we're pretty clear on how we'll play, but I'm not one to go through our team too early. That's the way it's set up, so it's not really smart as a coach to give out how the team's going to line up too early.
How impressed have you been with Sandon and after that debut?
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I felt like he added quite a bit of sharpness out of there and energy. It was always good to have a kid on debut sort of come in and sort of accelerate the play and try some things, and so that was really good. And also at that point in the game, we had to come back 3 times there, and then when he came on, I think we were, I think it was 24-18, and then to get us to that point, and then also pass the ball so cleanly there to get both the try down the short side and then obviously the field goal. It was a good start.
Trent, you faced these guys obviously only pretty recently.
Yeah.
After that game, talking about stuff like effort and attitude. In the weeks since, have you seen improvements across the board from inputs?
Yeah, there was some honest truths after that game, as there should be, and then the talking stopped and you had to put it into action, and that's what we've tried to do daily. You just try and stack it one on each other and get to the point where you get improvement out of your off-field and on-field behaviours. So we've improved that, and the only way to do that is to prove it tomorrow.
Cleary, how does that change your preparations?
No, not at all. Not at all. Teams run a system of play whether whoever comes in or out. You obviously got to have knowledge of players who come in to fill that position and understand their traits, but the system doesn't change.
And Sam Walker, how's he's come back?
Yeah, so still in brace. Sees the doctor next week. It'd be nice to get him out of that brace and start running again. So that's we're still a few weeks away.
Suaalii training and stuff this week. How's he been? His attitude like?
Well, he trains a lot, so I told him not to train this week. So we just said go and have a few days off and take a breath, and I'll see you next week, or see you at the game and then see you next week. So it's been good. He's as diligent as I've seen in my whole career as far as preparation and training. So it's good to say just go and stay away for a few days.
How crucial can a couple of days be to mentally refresh, particularly given he's so young and he's always in the headlines? Yeah, so I mean
he's slightly different, but the trying to work out how you prepare to play and perform each week is it's a learning right up until you probably in your 30s as well, some players, but there's finally usually a light bulb there. So, and his method is to work really hard and be really meticulous, sort of one of the first ones in, one of the last to leave and all of that. So, so for those guys, it's really good to take a breath. Some guys need to get in and work harder, some guys need to get away and take a breath. So for him, that was the right method. So
he's almost so dedicated and diligent, almost have to say at times.
Yeah.
You can take a step back.
Yep. Yeah. Sometimes you need to give permission to say just take a rest. So, physically he's young, so he doesn't often need it. But it's obviously disappointing getting 3 weeks. So to go and take a few days is going to be important.
Trent, this would be the sort of inflection point in the season where you go into the back end now, halfway through.
Yep.
Could you give us a wee review of how you think it's gone so far?
Yeah, there's it's been a sort of indifferent season for us. I feel like we've had some really good wins, and then we had sort of a month of sort of tough footy, or 3 weeks of where we sort of came off New Zealand and went, okay, we're ready to play, and then we got 3 on the bounce there. But it's it's been a really interesting season there, sort of working out combinations and lots of different movement around there. The thing I've really liked just the rock solid nature of the crew, just sort of digging in training, in really sort of backing the way that we want to play the game. And so middle point of the year, as far as wins and losses, you'd want a few more, but as far as freshness, attitude, all of that, we're on track.
And it was this game last year, the second game against the Panthers, where you really sort of turned the corner.
Yeah.
Is that something you're looking forward going into the finals to really see that Roosters football that you talk about?
Yeah, look, the bye was really important. I felt like the last time we played them, and then even partway through that St George game, it started to move in that way. Had the bye week, we saw really good indications of that last weekend, and it's to keep that momentum going. Let's ride that wave, keep moving in the direction we want to head. Opinion's been strong this year on how we've been going, but we've been pretty clear about what we want from ourselves, and the extra noise has actually helped that get really clear for us. It's been so much that we've actually reduced the noise the more it's come. So and we're getting much clearer about the way that we're playing, and this was why tomorrow, it's another really important step.
Do you feel that? I know in the season after the 2017 World Cup, we saw there was a bit of a slow start for the Roosters. You went on to win the comp. We've seen that this year. Had a lot of players at the tournament. Obviously, you were at the tournament as well.
Yep.
Do you think that's something that people maybe don't talk about that they should talk about in terms of the way that Penrith struggled at pellet points as well? The best teams kind of struggled the year after.
Yeah, that's some people analyse that and think about it, and then everybody else just wants to talk about today. No one really does any good analysis. It's just opinion, as you know. People just want to talk about what happened in the last hour rather than doing really good analysis. And the way that you can look at the comp, you can look at the balance of the competition. That's one of the major factors.
Is that something that as a coach that you keep in the back of your mind, knowing that you've got more guys who are going to be in a better state potentially come September than you don't win anything in April?
Yeah, we've got to prove that. Yep.
Trent, see Teddy comes up against Dylan Edwards, rival fullback there. That sort of challenge, does it bring out the best? Does he relish that sort of a challenge?
Two very good fullbacks, two of the best fullbacks in our game at the moment. And his challenge is mostly internal. I think I've said that before, is how does he get the best out of himself? So, I can't answer, whether he's thinking about that at all, but I know he's, really striving to get the best out of himself. The opponent, I don't think matters as much for Teddy as it can for some players. So I can't speak for him on that, but I know his motivation is as high as I've seen it.
Is there something with him in terms of, obviously he's relatively consistent in what he does, but his ability to be effective is based on the other guys running the push supports and the off-ball stuff? Has that been what you'd like it to be?
That is, the fullbacks, the freedom in fullbacks really important for those guys. So there's some of our best players, we like watching fullbacks. We keep talking about fullbacks because there is a lot of freedom in the way that they play, but the freedom that they get is based on the system of usually the other 12 guys. And some guys really force their way, which I think Teddy does, forces the system and then gets the freedom on the back of it. And some fullbacks let the system do their work and then they get to move on the back of it as well. So there's no doubt that fullbacks profit from the quality of the guys in front of them. But even before Teddy got to this club, he was driving his own standard, in a system that probably wasn't final standard when he was there.
Just back on your comment about that outside noise.
Yep.
Do you think that has been a positive for you guys, in a sense?
It hasn't, and then it has. Yeah, I think that's the way it's been. It hasn't been. There's been a lot. And if you don't win, then it'll be a lot, and usually more around here. But then eventually it has. It's got to the point where it's sharpened our focus.
So Teddy, from a personal point of view, Robbo, can you believe some of the criticism of him in the last 10 days? Like, he's a guy that the ultimate professional, captain of the club, state, country. Some people are saying he should be there in Brisbane. Does that shock you, worry you?
Oh, it has. I think I said it last week. I think anybody who watches it was really surprising. And then I probably was surprised by the lack of support as well on the other end, for someone to deliver so much and then get questioned. And but in the end, does it really matter? He got asked to perform on Sunday, and he did, and he'll get asked to perform tomorrow. You can't overspeak that. People are always going to have an opinion, and whatever agenda is behind it could be really pure and say, I believe in somebody else, or it could be weighted because of club preferences, or who's involved in. Everybody usually has a finger in a pie in some club, so it can be pure, it can be biased, but in the end it's just performance that counts, and he's performed for years, and then they questioned him and he performed, and now it's time to go again. That's the only way to do it.